Hello everyone, Professor Barnhurst here with your Unit 3 practice video. Before we get to that, I'd like to say thank you for your professional and academically sound post to last week's forum. You all did an excellent job, not only in your initial post, but in your replies to others. I appreciate the feedback you give to each other and the conversations that you had. It's all very valuable to the forum. So our next step in looking at the value of marketing in an organization is to look at what marketing does to drive growth and sales. In today's competitive market, growth depends on developing the right competitive strategy for your products in your marketplace. New products entering new markets are often easier to grow in their market share. Products that are current products that you have are often much harder to grow the market share in an established market. So if you are a market leader, like Coke, for example, you have a couple of options to grow your market in the competitive atmosphere. You can expand your total market, you can protect the market share that you have, or you can increase your total market share. If you are not the market leader, but are further down the list, say like here, like Freddy's soda instead of Coca-Cola, you have a couple of options too. You can you could challenge the market leader by becoming a market challenger. In this case, I wouldn't think that Freddy's would be a market challenger to an organization like Coke, but Pepsi would. You could be a market follower, which is what I believe is Freddy's competitive strategy. They follow the leader in what the leader does and know where their place is in the market, and then they compete with the other sodas in that marketplace. Or you can become a niche marketer, which is for example, that would be a soda like Joe's Soda, if any of you have heard of it. It's a more fruity kind of soda, local flavor kind of feel. That's available in some smaller marketplaces. And the last thing you might do if you are not the market leader would be to develop a competitive strategy according to your products, the stage of your product's life cycle, where they are in that stage. Are they on the growth side, or are they in the mature side, or are they in the decline, your products, that is. So those are the competitive strategies that we're going to look at in this chapter. Last week, we looked at data collection and the important market research that goes along with that. Organizations use that information and data for a variety of reasons, one of them being to develop a competitive strategy. In today's competitive market, marketers must maintain constant vigilance about the market and including their competition and what's happening in that area. They must use consumer data and other data that they have to develop their competitive strategy. When I first worked in healthcare, we had data that we collected. It was mostly internal. We did have some what we called regional reports from an organization called HCSC, and some national data that was mostly from the government. And some information on outcomes was available, but it was very untimely. Usually months behind reality, or sometimes up to a year behind reality, sometimes longer. And the other part about the data that we collected was it was all on paper. Can you imagine that? No technology, no technological data on the computer at that time. However, technology changed the way healthcare collects data and uses data, and as a result, that has changed the way we treat both illness and wellness in this country. The amount of data and the kinds of data that are collected today in healthcare for healthcare is enormous. It includes not only system-wide, like Lehigh Valley Health System or St. Luke's Health System, but it also includes data from the broad environment that includes the political and the legal environment and other areas. It also, includes consumer data, both that are patients and both that are not patients. Some government data from places like the CDC and the NIH or the National Health Institute, some global data like the World Health Organization, and even public health data, which is information about the public's health, which would be things like chronic disease. That includes things like diabetes, heart disease, obesity, those kinds of things. And all this data is collected all in an effort to improve the delivery of healthcare and decrease the cost, and to remain competitive in this at the same time in this competitive healthcare environment. So for this week's video, what I would like you to do is research the information your organization collects and determine whether or not they use it to develop their competitive strategies. So record your response here in practice, and when you're finished recording your response, please reply to at least 2 of your classmates' recordings over the next week. There are some prompts to answer a few brief questions, but they're not grade. They won't be for a grade, just to make sure that you've been able to see the video and answer a brief question. In addition, this week, we introduced an optional discussion forum. It's in the unit, and it's a written discussion forum that asks general questions about the video exercise and how your classmates and you are using it. So if you have an opportunity, please go to that optional discussion forum and provide us a little feedback. It's also not graded, but it could help you at the end of the semester if you need a little help with your class participation grade. So that's it for this week, everyone. Thank you very much for your time and your patience on this, getting this video uploaded this week. If you have any questions about the course content, please use the Ask the Instructor form. If you have questions of another type, please use the email for DeSales or give my cell a call. I'm available most days up till 9. Looking forward to learning more about your organizations as we move along in this course, and I will see you in the forums this week. Have a great week, everyone.